Good morning and happy Friday, my friends. I got up this morning and I'm like, I need a mixed media fix. I'm kind of getting in the groove to work on a Sunday's Art of Truth. So I thought having a little play with some texture here, some acrylic paints, and some stamping, stenciling, texturizing. I did this project about a year ago, but it was so fantastic and it's so fun. And it's a great way for you to play in mixed media if you're a little bit timid or if it doesn't really go so well for you on a larger scale. We're just going to be working on some tags here. But let me talk about supplies first. So I've got a bunch of golden fluid acrylic here, raw umber, cobalt turquoise, sap green hue, green gold, which I have to be careful with that because I always go overboard. We've got manganese blue hue, benzimidazoline yellow medium, Nicolazo yellow, which is one of my favorite colors, Payne's gray, because I want to make at least one or maybe a couple. We'll see how it goes. I'm just going to go with the flow, but I thought the Payne's gray and the turquoise would be great for the library journals. So, and then I've got a fluid, high flow acrylic. I just got this when I went to Blick, as I mentioned in a previous video. I went to Beaverton and went to Blick, and I've got about 5 different colors of fluid acrylics and new fluid acrylics, as well as some of the I think it looks like I got 4 high flow. Let me show you all of them that I got. So I got 5 in total. So I got the green gold, quinacridone red, and this one is light magenta. I thought that was really interesting. I'm not going to use that one today, but I thought I'd show it to you. And then light magenta in the fluid acrylic. This is a high flow, and then the high flow in primary magenta. So that's what I gathered. So I've got my black archival ink to do a little bit of stamping. I've got a variety of brushes and palette knives. I finally found my palette board here. It's just a clipboard that I put palette paper on because it allows you a place to put your paints. And yeah, so it's helpful. So I'm going to just set that there so you guys can kind of see it like so. I've got a couple of background stamps. These are from Stampendous or Stampers Anonymous, and then a texture stamp there, and then a script stamp. Okay, so that's that. And then I picked out a handful of stencils. We might not use them all, but I wanted to have a variety. My favorite stamp I've misplaced. I don't know where I stashed it, but I can't find it at the moment. So I've got this this is a Crafters Workshop stencil. Art is just another way of expressing our innermost thoughts, so I thought we would use that. And then I've got this rose stencil, and I thought this would be so fun for the spring journal, so I think I'll focus this stencil on the spring journal in some spring colors. I've got a texture stamp for some letters, and then I probably won't use this one. I just got it in case I want it, so I don't have to get up and reach for it. And then I thought this one would be fun as well for either one, so a little bit different than we normally do. So I'm going to set some of this stuff aside. I've got my heat tool off to my left here, so there will be a lot of drying time. And what I did off camera is I went ahead and these are Ranger tags. They're the manila tags, and those paper things always come off. So I just used the ones that they were already all off of in my drawer. And then I've used my, this is new to me. Sean Petit uses this gesso, and I absolutely loved it. It's a medium viscosity. It's thick, it's flexible, and I loved it. So let me show you what it did on my tags with very minimal work. So I did this just in preparation for the video. So I kind of made, I don't know if you guys can see that on camera, but it's got a lot of texture to it, and I just used when I applied it with the brush, It's hard to see on camera, I know. When I applied it with the brush, I just made it like rough and stuff. And then this one, I came back in after it was mostly dry with a paper towel and patted it up just to create some texture. And then the other one as well. So I'm actually going to move, I'm going to need my space here for my my tags here. So let's start with the first one. Let's do the spring one first. And I think we'll do one for the spring journal and two for the library journals, the Grungy library journals. So I want to start with some stamping. So I'm going to grab my archival ink. This is from Ranger. I'm just going to set that there, and we're going to do a little bit of background stamp. So this is for the spring journal, so I think we'll use this stamp. I have not used it yet. Isn't that a shame? But I went through my stamp drawer. Let me show you guys what I did here. So I had these in a drawer, and so I got them out, and I put them in these baskets, and so I can just look. I mean, it's so much easier than they were just piled up in a drawer, and this is... double stacked. Some of these baskets are double stacked and they're sorted by type, generally speaking. So that was, and I've got two baskets of those stamps, and they're kind of the ones I use the most. So yeah, so here we go. So let's get some stamping on here. I hate black archival ink. I know I say that every time, but I do. Okay, so I'm going to turn this. We're not going to get a really clear impression because we're working with a textured surface, but that's okay. Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, that's perfect. Okay, so let's do a little bit of this. This would be very pretty on there since it's springy. Kind of looks like a netting, like a fence. So let's go ahead and put a little bit down here. I don't want to cover everything, so I'm going to be a little bit, I'm going to resist the urge. I think I want to put a little bit over this here too, just a tad. There we go. So that one is done. Let's go ahead and do the stamping on the other ones as well, just to get that step out of the way. So what would we like on this one? I think just some script on this one. So I'm going to pull my ink back over, and this is a favorite French stamp. I can't remember where I got it, so my apologies for that. And I'm just going to place it down. I don't want to cover the whole thing because I don't like it to be that uniform. Oh yeah, perfect. And I'm just going to take this part that's kind of nondescript and put it here. And I'm going to find one more texture stamp, guys, just because I feel like it would be fun to bring that in. Maybe one of these, maybe this one. I haven't used this one before. Part of the problem with having a lot of products is you can't remember what you have. And so that's why I am always about reorganizing the studio, moving things around. If it's not feeling functional, I can change things up. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that. Okay, so that's the second one. And then the third one, let's go ahead and go in with this one. I'm going to reach in here and see if I see anything else that speaks to me in terms, oh, this would be really pretty, this butterfly. Yeah, let's do that. Again, haven't used it. It's not a very old stamp. Some of these are pretty new to me, but I forget about them. So let's go in the middle-ish with that. So pretty. I love that inconsistent texture there. And then we're going to go in with this script stamp here, which you can see I've used in mixed media projects. So it's got paint all over the top of it. So pretty. And sometimes I like to have them go a little bit sideways. And I do definitely want a little bit more on here though. So pretty. Let's get this edge here. Go one more time with this. And then I'm going to wipe my hands off because I hate that ink. I'm I'm just going to move those stamps out of my way. If you hear Rip, he is a little frustrated with me this morning. I did go outside with him for a little bit, but it is cold and it rained this morning. We're headed into some hot weather, but we haven't arrived there yet. I will be glad when we do, because I don't like... It's summer. Like, it's supposed to be warm, and it's not. So, I've been working around the house, as I put in a Facebook post. Cleaned out my kitchen cupboards and stuff. And I need to go check on the dog because he just dumped something. Sorry about that. I had to take his ball away from him because he pops it all over the living room, and then it goes under tables and behind things, and then he's just like a elephant in a china closet, bull in a china closet, trying to get to it. So this was our spring one. So our next step will be to add some texture. So let's see what we want to do for this one. The spring one, I think I had said I wanted to do this stuff, but is that going to be too much? I don't think so. I think it's going to be great. So I have my modeling paste. This is Liquitex. I thought I had more of that spackle, but I think my husband actually snatched it for actual spackling. And so I'm not sure at the moment where it is. I'm just going to clean off that crusty edge, because once it gets up there, it's really not good. It's very hard and it gets in the way. So I'm just going to peel some of that out of there. Okay, so we're just going to get a bit of that. And let's kind of go middle-ish so that we have a little bit of that. It's going to go all the way down, most of the way down, which is fine. Okay, so I'm not going to do a total coverage here. I'm just going to go here and there and give it the hint of that wisteria. I believe that's what that is wisteria. Not focusing on a complete impression here. Just can be really spotty. It might prove to be more thorough than I'm trying to do, just because I can't really see. Okay. Oh, that's really pretty. Look at that. You guys see that texture? Nice. Okay. I don't have a water thing in here, so I'm going to take a couple wipes out here and put that stencil over on there so that it doesn't get dried out. So I like put one under it and then I put one on top of it, and then I'm good. Okay. So we'll set that one aside. We're going to go ahead and do step by step, just because that helps us move through the video a little bit quicker. So this was for the library journal, so I think I'll use the numbers on this and maybe a little bit of script, just a bit. And if you're starting out, start out with a smaller one. This is an 8 fluid ounce. I usually have the 16, which when I did more mixed media, it was conducive to what I was doing, but I don't use it as much anymore. So a smaller pot might be the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and just line that up. And I'm not going for a full impression. I would like to capture that word art at the top. I don't know if I just moved that stencil or if just the whole thing moved. We'll find out, right? So anyway, I'm ready for the dog to go home. And I mean no disrespect, but it's he is insatiable with his play. And as I mentioned before, I try to take him out and go to the river to walk, and it was impossible. It was absolutely impossible. I had to turn around, got right back in my car, and came back home. So this one, I also wanted, let's go ahead and do the numbers on this one. So I have more stencils out than I'll use, but that's just, it's nice to have a selection. Although I think this one might be fun for the library journal. Let's go ahead and try this. Just a little bit. So the last one I want to use is the numbers, but I think I need to let this one dry a little bit. So we'll come back and we'll do some numbers on here. I just don't want to affect that texture right now. So I'm going to set that aside. And let's go ahead and dry these, because then we can move on with all of them. So I'm going to bring that one back over, and I'm going to get my heat tool out and dry them. Okay, that is dry enough to add a little bit more. So again, I want to add some of the numbers on this library one. Not numbers, letters, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead, and I might be doubling up, but we'll go with what happens, right? Okay, so we're just going to go up here because there's no texture up here at the moment. I'm just going to move down, just kind of, again, sporadically. You know, the less uniform it is, the more organic. I think it makes it really beautiful. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Oh, we did mess up some of that texture, but that's okay. It was not as dry as I thought it was, but that's all right. Again, just placing that over there so it can not get so dried out. And then I was looking at this one. I feel like I want something down here. So I have this rose one that I pulled out, so I thought we would put a little bit of that down here. Not a lot, because there's already a ton going on this one, but we are going to put a little bit here. Yeah, just like that. So I'm going to cap up that texture paste and put this last stencil over here. And I'm going to go ahead and dry these, and I'll be right back. Okay, these are dry. I don't know if you can see it any better when it's dry, but they're beautiful. I hate that ink. I'll stop talking about it now. So yeah, I love this. We got a little bit of roses up here, but because we've got that rose in the stamp, I thought that would be perfect. And these crusty bits that are hanging over can just be kind of pushed off. So yeah, so let's start with the spring one. So I think I want to go in with some, I want to show you the green gold in the high flow acrylic. This has not been opened yet, so I just need, oh, came right off. Except now it's inside. So let me grab a pokey tool of some sort here. Where's my pokey tool? There it is. Just going to grab that little piece of paper. It's not going to be useful in there. Okay, so when you use this, you also use some water. So I'm trying to find my spritzer bottle. I put it in a special place because I couldn't find it the last time. And it's not within my sight. So what did you do with it, Renee? Oh my goodness. Where are you, spritzer bottle? Okay, well, let's see what we've got in here. This is water as well. This will work. Okay, so I'm going to spray a little bit of water on here first. And that just helps this to move. I'm going to shake it up. Ooh, it's already coming out. Yikes. Okay, a little bit more water. Oh, that color is gorgeous. Ugh. Okay, I think we need a little Nicolaizo yellow as well. Oh, that's so pretty. I'm going to put a little bit on my mat here and use a brush. Now, I'm using artist acrylics mostly. You do not have to. You could use craft acrylics. If you want the more fluid effect, you would just add some water to them. Otherwise, they're going to be a little bit more challenging to move around, but it's not really a big deal. And then I think this is not going to take much at all. This is gorgeous. but I do want to come in with a little bit more contrasting green. So I'm going to pull the sap green hue. So I'm just going to, I'm not even using my palette. It's because I haven't been using it. So let me do that differently so you can see how beneficial that is. Okay, so I actually want to take a paper towel and just dab a little bit of this up. It feels really bright. Oh yeah, look at that. So simple, you guys. So I want to go in with a little bit of the sap green hue. So that is the fluid acrylic. And I'm going to just put some out on my palette paper here. And I'm going to get a little bit of water. Pardon me for that noise. Okay, so we're just going to probably have to add some water. This is still pretty thick. That's okay. Let's add some water, see if we can get that to move around a little bit. Perfect for this journal though. Really, really, really beautiful. So I'm just going to dab a little bit because again, it's pretty vibrant and pretty intense. And I don't think I'm going to decorate these per se because I want them to remain just a beautiful car, a beautiful tag. But what I'd like to do is let this dry, and I think I want to come in with a little bit of red or pink on those roses, or maybe we will use some wax or something to kind of highlight that texture. So this one I feel is done. So you can't see a lot of the stamping because we put a lot of texture on there, but that's okay. I'm going to set that over on my cart and let that dry. And let me just get rid of some stuff here that's in my way. Now this is what's cool about this palette paper. You can just let it get completely sopped, but you could also just wipe it up and it doesn't mess your desk up, which sometimes I don't use anything and it's hard to clean up. Okay, so this one is for the library journal. So I think what I'd like to try just to show you a technique is I'm going to come in with the, this is cobalt turquoise, absolutely stunning color. It's not very transparent. You can see it's pretty opaque, but that is okay. We're going to just put a little bit on my mat, and I should have a towel here too, and I'm not sure why I don't. It's probably got put in the wash. So I'm going to go ahead and add some water to my paint here, just to dilute it a little bit. And then we're going to take this tag and I'm going to spray some water at the top. So you can be very selective about where you put this. And then when you're done, when you don't want it to move anymore, you just stop tipping it. I know, elementary, right? That's so pretty right there. That's pretty. Okay. So I want to dry this one really quick because I know I want to go in with another layer. So give me a second to do that. Okay, I'm loving that. I'm loving that so much. This would be really pretty if you came in with just something really light in those other spots, but we're not doing that because we're working on this super grungy journal. So this is the Payne's Gray. So I'm going to put just a smidge there. I put way too much of the turquoise out. So I'm just going to spray that as well. And I think I'm going to do the same. So I was thinking about coming in with some soft pastels or some oil pastels, but if you do that, then you have to seal the work. I don't want to do that. So I'm going to stick with acrylics because I know that layer by layer, none of those colors are going to move because it's acrylic. Okay. So I feel like I want to do that same technique though. So I'm going to spray and just get that surface prepared here. Oh, so pretty. I'll show you the transparency on this Payne's Gray here in a second. We might put some more turquoise, but we'll see. It's moving a little bit. There must have been some bits that were not quite dry. That's okay. So gorgeous. It's okay to have a little bit of light passages of color too. I don't do that very well. I'm going to dip right into that turquoise again because they're in the same color family. They're not going to create a bad color. One is just going to probably mute the other one out a little bit. So let's just keep getting some more color in here. I love that Payne's Gray though. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty. So we're getting kind of a green gray by them mixing a bit, which is not terrible. Now we might get a little bit of opacity problem here because I don't know how, I'll have to look at the bottle and see how transparent the Payne's Gray actually is. So I'm going to rinse my brush off and I'm going to go back into the Payne's Gray and just get a little bit of dark bits here, just here and there. And back into the turquoise. I love this. Oh, I need my towel. I usually keep a towel on my lap. So I do want to get a little bit, and I think what I want to do with this one, we're going to let this dry and then we're going to come in with some of the iridescent gold fine fluid acrylic and do some drips that go down the tag. Loving this. Need a little bit more dark, just here and there. Because we kind of muted things out a little bit by mixing those colors, which is not a bad thing. But you just kind of play until you go, aha, that makes my soul happy. That's kind of what I do when I'm creating, is what is my heart telling me? Is it satisfied? Is it what I wanted? Is it, what's it saying to me, kind of thing? Oh, so pretty. Look at that. So again, guys, don't feel like you have to have these artist acrylics. You don't. You can use craft acrylics. You just want, if you want to do what I'm doing, you just want to get them in those colors. But all these colors are available in those tones in craft acrylic. But similar to my watercolor, I'm a little bit spoiled that way because mixed media was my passion prior to doing journal making. So now this one I thought we had wanted for the library journal, but I'm not exactly sure anymore. We could do a little bit of blue and the Nicolezo gold, I think that, or Nicolezo yellow. Let's do that. I'm going to just give that a little bit of a spritz. Look at that color. So gorgeous. Let me get some paper towel on my lap here. There we go. Because it helps me to be able to wipe my brush off and such. So I'm going to go in and I'm just going to put some water on the top here. Obviously I have that paint in my brush since I mixed it. But I'm just going to let this be kind of sporadic here. I put way too much of that paint out again. Not surprising. So on this one, I do want to I want this to dry. So I'm going to bring all 3 tags over and get them dried up so that we can evaluate again. Okay. So I'm going to set that one aside. This one I feel like is just fine the way it is. I am not even going to go in with anything. I was thinking about highlighting those flowers, but we're going to highlight it in a different way in a second. So, but this one I thought it would be fun to kind of get a little bit of an orange tone in here. So I'm going to use the quinacridone red, and I'm also dying to use it. So I'm going to open that up and release that paper. Okay, so just like with watercolor, you can mix on here or you can mix on your tray or on your palette or whatever you're using. So I need to shake that more. Okay. Oh, whoa. I'm not sure how this, I'm going to mix it right here on my palette here because I'm not sure that I'm going to love that. So let's just see what we get. Oh, that's actually really pretty. Okay, let's do it. We're going to do the drippage. This might not be completely dry, so we might get a little bit of mixing here. That's okay. So again, I'm just making that so it's just going to flow down naturally or somewhat naturally. So if it gets too watery, you got to add some more concentrated paint, otherwise it's just going to be all washed out. I'm just going to cover the white up here because I'm not liking that. I mean, I'm pretty sure this will go within the journal pretty well. This color. Okay. So I'm going to go in with some more of the yellow. We could also come in with a little bit of green. I think I'll do that too, but we'll have to let this one dry again. So I'm just getting more of that Nicolezo yellow. I feel like I want a little bit of more of a punch there. Trying not to mix too much with what's already there in terms of that really beautiful orange we got. I'm really happy with that. Kind of mellow. I'm not a big orange fan, but I'm not a big red fan either. But when you're doing floral stuff, it's really important to get accustomed to figuring out how to get the colors that you want. Okay, so we're just gonna, that's getting a little bit too much. So I'm gonna zap this really quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm gonna let this one sit a little bit longer. I wanna make sure it's nice and dry, but I wanna come in with some sap green on that one. This one, we're just gonna use some wax on top of the texture, which I'll show you here in a second. This one, I wanna do a little bit of gold dripping, and then we're gonna do some gold accents. So I think we'll start with that. So I reached and grabbed my iridescent gold fine paint here. This is another fluid acrylic. So I'm just going to put a little bit out, a little bit. That was still a lot. And I'm just going to make sure that my brush is nice and clean so I do not transfer color because my water's pretty dirty at this point. Still a lot of yellow on my brush. Actually, let me just grab a clean brush. That would be easier. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and just pick this up. I wish I had. I'm going to use my bottle here and get a little bit of clean water here. I should have two buckets just like with watercolor so that I can control and not contaminate my colors. So I'm just putting a little bit of water up here. And then we're going to drip this on. Let's start at the top. Come on, move. Why aren't you moving? Okay. It's not working. Let's spray it. It's just going to leave this kind of a gold sheen, but I do want a bit of concentration of that gold at the top. Okay, we're going to let that sit and see what we think. I like it so far, so that's good. It's good when Miss Renee likes it. Cara-Renee, whatever. Renee's my real name, so okay, so let's go ahead and get this one back over here as well, and we're gonna go in with a little bit of sap green. This might be a mistake. We'll find out. Just a bit. And then I'm gonna just spray that, give it a little bit more liquidy. And we're gonna spray our surface again. Oh, this is very dark. We're going to have to get some more water on here. I don't want to get it everywhere. I just want a little bit of that accent. Oh, it's getting very dark. Oh, it's getting very dark. Let's spray that. Probably, oh, that's really pretty though. Look at that. Ooh, yes. Happy accidents. I love it. That feels good. So I am going to get a little bit more nickel azo gold that's not been affected by that red, which was actually very, very pretty, surprisingly. And I'm going to go in and just dab a little bit here and there. If I can. It's going to be hard to bring that color back. That's okay. I love it. So I feel like there's a lot going on here in the middle, so I'm going to just soak up some of that water, my paper towel. I'm just trying to get it not so pooled up on those letters because that kind of looks weird. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside, and then we're going to, let's finish this one, and then we'll dry those and be able to move on. So the waxes I'm talking about are these Art Alchemy waxes. If you buy them, get them in the tube. I had them in the tins, which I used to use them a ton, and that was fine. But when I stopped using them, they all dried out. These do not dry out. So we're going to find a color that's going to go well with this. So Old Silver, Bronze Age. I don't know if I have a color that's going to work. Rusty Brown, Cobalt, Patina Green. Oh, this one right here. The Honey. I always forget about that. It's a beautiful color. Sea Glass, Gold, Peacock, which Peacock might be really pretty on that one, but I'm not sure. We'll pull that out just in case. We also have this Turquoise Satin. That might work for that too. So I'm going to pull those out. I used to have a lot better colors than the other ones. I haven't recollected a bunch of these. So what did I decide I wanted here? What was I going to do here? Didn't I just have one in my hand? I wanted, oh, they get Honey. So the cool thing about this is once it's dry, it's dry. You can't even move it. So I'm going to just put a little bit on my finger here, and I'm going to dab it off a little bit so I don't get too much. And I'm going to go over the whole thing. Let's see what we get here. It might be difficult to see on camera. Looks like I can go in a little bit more straightforward here. Sorry, I'm too close to my body, aren't I? The idea of this is just to accent that texture mostly. Yeah, I think we're going to call that good. Okay, so I'm going to set that one over there, and then let's bring this. We're going to have to dry these two before we can move on. So I'll be right back again. So I'm just going to use my paper towel and just gently blot just to pick up anything that might be still wet. Okay, which there is on this yellow one, but that's okay because that was pretty vibrant color. So this one, I decided I was going to use the wax, but look at this. Look at how that gold just traveled around all that texture. So I actually want this to be, well, maybe we'll do both. Maybe we'll do a little bit of wax and a little bit of the paint. So I'm going to get some of the iridescent gold fine out here on my palette. Just a smidge, for real, just a smidge. And I don't want to put this everywhere because I tend to overdo it. And then it's like, oh my gosh, it looks like it's so gaudy. Which I'm drawn to for some reason in my mixed media art, but so I'm like going to go around the edges there a little bit, and then we'll come in with that one of those turquoise waxes as well. I'm just going to turn this so that I can get this edge. We'll cover these with some paper later off camera. So that's now going to have to dry again because we don't want to mix the wax with the paint. And this one is very wild and crazy, but I love it. I love it. I almost feel like it needs, what does it need? I don't really have a wax that will work for that. So that's Vintage Gold. Heather Hills. Kind of at a loss for this one for some reason. Maybe we'll just do a little bit of the gold. Again, not a ton, just here and there. Oh yeah, that's just the right touch, not too much. I think what we will do with this though is we'll go in with some color around the edges, maybe some of the green. Okay, let's do that. Let's get a little bit of sap green that's not diluted. Just a smidge, just barely anything there. And I'm going to go around the edge here just to kind of create a little bit of a frame around that. Again, you don't want to be like super precise, like you don't want it to all look the same. So just, just a little bit here and there. Yeah, just like that. Now, the other thing we could do here that might help us is to splatter some green. Let's try that. I might regret this, but we're just having fun. So I've actually got some sap green already here, so let's see if we can splatter this as it is. I need to move that so I don't splatter it. Oh yeah, this is good. Just a little bit of splatter. I need a little bit more water. Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Love it. Love it. We're going to set that one over there, and we're going to bring this one over. And I think we're probably good to go ahead and go do our wax. And then we'll be done. So I think, let's see what the peacock looks like. Oh, the peacock is beautiful. Let's do that. So I'm going to put a little bit of this out on my mat here. And I'm just going to pick this up and I'm going to go over parts of that. Well, that is it, my friends. Look at that one. That's so pretty. Love it. So I will see you guys in the next video. You'll be able to see all the photos at the end of the video. I'll get lots of close-ups so you can see all the layers and all the texture, or as much as I can show you. We did a lot on these, so a lot of the stamping that we did in the background is lost. But again, as I say, we know it's there. Like this one, I can see the dots from that stamp. I can see, obviously, the texture. I can see some of the lines from that other grid stamp. So anyway, you can see photos at the end. See you guys soon. Take care. Bye-bye.